here's my little guy. Make your car go fast. Oh, that thing cooks. Hope you could see that. We got that last night. We got the batteries for the controller. We tried robbing batteries out of the other controllers, but this controller uses a lot. He just flew it in the air about 2 feet up the curb. This thing's so cool, but it didn't have enough power. The thing was blinking, so it wouldn't run. We had a problem with it right off the bat. Okay. It has a little white clip that runs from the on and off switch, which tells it to turn on and off, and the little wires go into this little two-pronged connector. But it didn't have the little thing that holds it in. It just had a blank one that just sat in there, so when he hits bumps, okay, go, it shuts it off. So, you know, we were like, oh my goodness, here we go. So that's an ongoing problem with it. I got a buddy who has all kinds of clips like that, so we'll get one. It's got the catch on the unit itself, but not the little connector that they put on there. So quality control in China is not anything to write home about. I don't think they care. But he's been running this thing like crazy. This morning we had it out, and he was running. I did a video of it, but the camera doesn't have a little red light in the front, only in the back. And I just didn't notice it in the bright light. It's not a real bright red light, and I just didn't pay attention. So the camera actually had shut itself off. Now the Wasabi battery I have won't even take a charge. It's, you know, and it's only a month or two old, so I won't be buying any more of them. I wish I could get the Sony battery. I can't seem to find it anywhere, even on Lazada. And you can get bootlegs here. Okay, so he's riding it. He's kicking up some dust over there. This thing really goes. It will do 60 kilometers per hour. Hope you can see that, guys. He's cooking it. He's been having a blast. Now, what happened this morning also, he was running it, flying it, and all this stuff. And the shaft came, hi, baby. She got her hat from the sun. But the drive shaft, the right side axle one came off, and there was no way to flex the suspension to get it back in. It sits in a cup. It has a ball with a little pin going through it. Watch out, Maddie. Truck coming. Watch out, guys. Howdy. They're putting up a fence here. Hi. So I had to take the lower control arm off. I couldn't take the upper, the load bearing one, because there was a ball joint in it, and I didn't want to pull that out. It's metal. This stuff is mostly metal underneath this thing, and so they gave us a great tool set. So I went ahead and okay, buddy. So I went ahead and pulled that lower control arm off, and we flexed it out enough to get it back in. I noticed there's grease in there, so we're going to get some grease. Make sure we keep it greased up. We cleaned it after the ride this morning. There it goes, though. Look at that thing go. Oh, wipe out. He wiped it out. But he's doing really cool. He loves it. Glad I got it for him. But it came with extra parts, came with a great tool set. And one thing that I'm glad it happened, because the nylock nut, it was a metal nut with a piece of nylock on it. I didn't catch it when I first looked at it. Was looking it over, was loose. The wheel didn't come off because it's like pressed on there on the threads. But when I took it off, because it was just only on the steel part of the threads, there was no cut into the nylock like the one I took off the back wheel. So that, that's just another quality control thing with China. But I went over the whole thing when we got it in the house. We spent, the boy and I, about a half hour. That's part of his learning about maintenance and stuff. We spent about a half hour. He was handing me tools and stuff, and I was showing him what things were and what it was called. So this thing's just like a regular big truck. It's a lot easier to work on, though. But it's got a... I love the way the motor is. It's got a super powerful motor. The battery's lasting a real long time for 7,500 mAh. It lasted him last night till he was done. This morning we took it in. I said just charge it up again and we'll come back out because it was kind of hot. It's cooling off now. We're getting a few clouds and a good breeze. I don't know if you can see that in the trees. We've got a real nice breeze now where we didn't have a breath this morning. It was pretty hot. Oh, he flipped it again. He's having a blast. He's learned how to drive it. I tried to drive it up the street in a straight line, and I'm telling you what, it's just monstrous. But you could spin. Look at him throwing the dust up. He spins it around. That thing is really something. Oh man, he's a lucky boy, I'll tell you what. And he's just running it. But I'm having a blast just watching him. I don't really want to drive it. It flipped over. He gave his sister his four-wheel drive truck. She didn't want to drive it right now. She's over there on the pile, and she's got to learn how to drive it. I think that's why she didn't want to drive it up here. But she'll get the hang of it also. We're just having a blast, and it was really fun doing the maintenance with him. That thing cooks. Whoa! He flipped it again. It goes. It's pretty tough. I was saying about the axle. The motor runs right into it's like a transfer case into the rear axle, and then out of that on the bottom, it's got an aluminum drive shaft that goes to the front wheels. This thing, they're both tied together. There's no like limited slip or anything, but this thing gets up in boogies. It's unbelievable. The hills it'll climb there. Oh, climb it. Well, he tried to get that one. He got up earlier. Let's see if he can do it again. He's having a blast. Don't run into your brother or sister, okay? That'll hurt. This thing is twice as heavy as the 4x4, and it's 5 times faster. I mean, this thing's just ridiculous how quick it is. But when you let off the motor, it just comes down. It's got a really good engine braking. It just almost comes to a stop within just a few feet, even at full speed. And if you can also spin it around on a dime. He had to flip over upside down, and oh, there it goes again. Whoa! Whoa! He's learning, but if he breaks it, we're going to fix it. They gave us a wonderful tool set with it. They gave us a bunch of extra parts. Looks like it could be a high breakage part, mostly the plastic ones. But like I say, we got that thing back in. We'll get some grease next time we're up at Handyman. I'll get a little syringe. I've seen the little syringe things of red grease. That'll be enough, and we'll clean it. I'm planning on getting an air compressor. So I used to clean my dirt bikes when I rode in the desert. I'd blow them off real good with an air compressor. We'll blow this one out, make sure the motor motor looks like it's sealed though. I don't see that it's going to get any air. It gets pretty hot, the motor. It even has a warning thing on there after you run it for a while. Don't touch the motor. And Maddie even said, "Dad, that motor's hot." And I said, "Yeah, that's normal. It's okay. Engine gets hot." Now this thing, I'm fully aware that watch you don't run your sister over, buddy. With a high performance vehicle like this, we're gonna have high performance maintenance. It's just the same thing. So, I remember when I used to ride in the desert with my buddies out in Cali. They had all these gas and these two-stroke dirt bikes and all this stuff. And I remember they get home and be doing maintenance, always changing rings and top ends and changing the oil in hours. And here I was on my little XT250, and I didn't worry about any of that stuff. I'd get home and I would just clean the air cleaner, maybe the next week before the next weekend. My CRF 650L, same thing. I just run it. I didn't want to get anything with the whole boatload of maintenance. Now I did see here, they're selling here the, I believe it's a YZ 250F model. Now that's going to be a little bit more maintenance, but you can easily do the lights and stuff and get it tagged as a legal one. That's a very nice bike. I actually got to ride one of those out in the desert one time, and they're just rockets. It's a 250, but boy, they're getting every ounce of power out of that 250. I was amazed at that bike, and they do sell that one here now. I've seen that Yamaha, they can get it. They sell it right on the showroom in Davo. One of my subscribers said they have them in there. Okay. I didn't see one when I was down there, but I did see a couple of them on the street, and they're just fantastic. They're absolutely a beautiful bike, and I would suffer the maintenance if I could get one. But I'll look around. I still like that WR155R for what I'm doing. You know, for what I'm going to do with a bike, I don't need all that power. I probably won't do a whole lot of off-road. So that's the way that goes. But I wanted to run something else by you guys while I got you that you should know about. I think it's mainly because of the diet. But here in this country, your folks that have diabetes, I know in the U.S. I knew a lot of people with diabetes. I learned about the signs of them and what you should check for. And it's really big here. A lot of people don't even know they have it. They'll say they died from a stroke or heart attack, but this is coming from the diabetes. It's the base thing. I've learned to look for the signs. Okay, go watch him. And we know somebody that has it. I've noticed the mood swings and all that, and I wish they would go see a doctor and get them straightened out, because somebody who has such a terrible mood swing like that, it should be checked out, plain and simple. That's a sugar problem, and that particular person I noticed started, with the sugar in the coffee again, and now started drinking soda pop and eating way too much rice, and these are all the things that'll flag that. We had a neighbor across the street, and I noticed how he was eating. I was at a party. He was right directly across. I'm talking 10 feet from my gate to his gate, and he wound up having a stroke. There's no golden hour here to get to the hospital, and some people don't have the cash ready. They'll wait for the cashier and the hospital's guys to give them that medicine where they're back to work in a day or two. But he didn't get that, so he stroked out pretty bad. His one side's all down. But his wife passed away during this time. His son, 28-year-old son, passed away. And a lot of it, the son died of kidney failure, but I believe the wife had diabetes also, just from watching them eat. And we know a few people that have it here. So know that when you come, watch your diet here. I don't eat big full piles of rice. I eat a moderate amount. I don't mind it. I didn't think too much of it when I first got here, but my wife can really cook some good food, and it's nice to have it sitting on a bed of rice. I just watched Tropical Tim, his last one, about how cheap it is to travel and stay in the Philippines, and he had some chicken tinola, and he had the rice, and he was spooning it onto the plate, and I was laughing because whenever I get one of those, I just dump the rice into the bowl and eat it like a soup. But he's watched that. He's got a really good thing. I've always said I was able to go to a few different countries around the world, and I have to honestly say, bar none, Filipino has the best transportation system in the world. Anywhere you want to go, it's inexpensive. We've gone down to Manila, all the way from Carmona here, all the way into Manila to do our immigration stuff like that, and the bus ride is like 100 peso each, and then we jump on a jeepney, and not too expensive. Tall guy like me, it kind of does suck. They always put these grab handles on the ceiling, and on the end they leave a bolt sticking out that far. I can't climb to the front. It's just too difficult. And you can walk around, and also it's, for me, with my head right up on the ceiling, it's real hard to see out of them. Especially when people get in them, you can't. You'll miss. I've missed my stop so many times in a jeepney. I'm glad my wife, when we do jeepneys, she's with me because she's just little and she can see up. Be careful. I almost got run over by the Speedo machine. He let his sister drive it, and she almost ran into me. No, we just got here. We're not going home right now. Dorothy, why don't you walk him home? She's going to walk the boy home. He comes up here, and in 2 minutes he wants to go home. He always wants to come, wait for me, and then he wants to go right home. Grandma's there today, and he's Grandma's boy. So that's how that goes. But that's a little bit about our wonderful little car. I just did the one about the owner. I hope you guys like that. Maybe if he comes around again, and the one workman that he has, that they're going to do work at our house for the owner. And if the dude that speaks English real good comes, I'll see if they could pop the hood and show you the motor. These vehicles are really simple, and I just think they're cool as cool can be. But that's just a little short one today. I'm doing a lot of videos now because I know once we start the house, they're going to get spread out a little bit. So I'm on a roll, having some fun on a roll and just goofing around with the kids and all that kind of stuff. My wife wasn't feeling good. We didn't make the wedding today. So, but we got him a nice gift. So we'll see her again when she comes to tutor the kids, and would like to get into that. But it was a pretty good ride, and she just wasn't feeling well. So that's what happened there. So don't forget, guys, pray for each other. Don't be hating. I've been watching some of the comments go back and forth between people that watch the videos, and I don't hate to see anybody taking offense at anyone else, but I'm glad they're hashing it out and talking about it. So here I did a video, and some guy was it's tough to say what he was talking about, but he was going on. I think he was a Cuban guy or something, and he was going on about you're prejudiced and all that. And I watched the video again, and I can't see where I was prejudiced at all, or was down in people. I just said I tip good. And one thing I learned that from my wife, she's a very good tipper, was a caddy. And I even said that in the video, and this guy was going on, oh, you make Filipinos look bad because you tip and Filipinos don't. And well, you know what? I've seen all the time when you see somebody backing out of a store or something, you see a 20 peso. That's what we give. Our friend, we always give 50 because we like him. If I get gas at the gas station, clean my windows, they do all the stuff, I always give them the change, or at least 40, 50 pesos. And I see Filipinos doing it all the time. The one thing I did notice was when there's folks that are kind of poor around here, they'll give a better tip. I've gone with some people that are business owners, got bunches of employees and lots of money, and they're the ones who get cheap. But that's worldwide. I've noticed that worldwide in my lifetime. I've never been that wealthy, and I've always been a good tipper because I worked at a restaurant. When I first started in my career, I wasn't getting work all the time, and I had a buddy who had a restaurant. And when I wasn't cooking, I was waiting. And those tips come in. It was real nice to get the tips. And I used to get these huge, I had nights where I got $200 in tips because I was Johnny on the spot. I never stopped. If I had a coffee, I don't care if it was another table or not. I'd give them some coffee. I kept the decaf in one, and I kept moving, and I got their food to them as quick as it popped up. I didn't waste any time. We even bust our own tables. And then the girls that were working there, who were kind of lazy, they complained to the owner and said, we want the tips pooled. And he said, okay. They said so, and it's 2 against 1, so you got to pool your tips. And I said, that's my last day today. So that was a shame. I hated to lose that because one of my favorite things to do was work in a restaurant. I just loved it. I loved to cook. I just loved that you get into a place, and before you know it's time to go home because you're so busy. And that's how I always played it. I like to be busy. Okay, we're going to start walking home, and I'm going to go ahead. What are you going to say, Bob? Loud. That's my little guy. All right, I'm going to let you go, guys. Take care of each other.